Hello, and welcome to the 5-axis update training videos for hyperMILL 2017.1. In this video, we would like to cover some of the new options in simultaneous 5-axis. First, we'll take a look at the 5-axis tangent machining. You will notice that in this toolpath, we now have an option for semi-path. In here, we can define a semi-path allowance, and if we take a look at the toolpath itself, you will notice that we have a semi, then a finish pass. If we take a look at the results in the internal simulation, you will see that we take a semi pass, then a finish pass, before jumping down to the next level. Next, we have an option called dynamic contact point. If we don't go ahead and use the dynamic contact point, then the contact parameter sets the contact point of the barrel radius on the part. So if we take a look at this in a section view, maybe we'll just take a look at a general point on the toolpath in the internal simulation. You can see that the contact point is going to be in the middle of the barrel radius. The problem with this is that the tool will actually leave stock on the part in this area, which will then have to be remachined. If we use the dynamic contact point, what happens is that the contact parameter will be adjusted as the tool is machining down the part in the machining operation. So at the top of our part, we'll use a contact parameter of 0.5, and at the bottom of the part, the contact parameter will be 0. This will leave us with even wear along the tool, and it will also clean up the stock at the bottom of our part. If we take a look at this in the internal simulation, we can pick a point on the toolpath, and you will notice we are now cutting with the edge of the barrel radius. Finally, let's take a look at a couple of the other options that we have. In the 5-axis tangent machining, we now have an option to use a Z-level. On this particular part, it really doesn't work out well for us because this part has a lot of retracts at the top if you use a Z-level strategy. In here, you'll also know we have an option for ISO. So if we use ISO orientation, we can select the surfaces, and that will give us a nice smooth toolpath. But we will still get our lead-ins and lead-outs. We can change that result a little bit by using the global orientation shown here. Global orientation allows us to use the option Prefer Spiral, which will do a complete spiral all the way down the part. The last option that we need to cover is in the 5-axis swerve cutting toolpath. You'll notice that this is the standard 5-axis swerve cutting one curve toolpath, but now we have an additional option to using a curve on a surface. We have the base surfaces option. If we copy this toolpath down, we can recreate the results using the base surface. Right here, I'll just unselect everything so that we can regenerate these results. The side surfaces are the surfaces that we're going to want to swarf cut. The base surface we can select as this surface, which is the surface that we want to use the intersect offset from to determine where our swarf cut surfaces are generated from. So right here we can use this offset. We could put in a value, or we could just use the slider option. Right here we can define a fillet. Also, I can select my bottom surface as well. At this point I can calculate the toolpath, and it'll get me a nice result. Now, one thing to mention is that we can quickly go ahead and change the radius that's left in this area by just adjusting this radial fillet. So right here, if I put in a different value, I can calculate the result, and you'll notice that my fillet is now much larger. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.